Tell them check out the blog, bro. YouTube channel called MKO. It's pugilism, boxing algorithm. M stand for Marvin and Kevin's initials KO. Yeah. Yes, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? This is the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel. We're talking all things boxing as per usual. Right about now, going to speak to you about Saul Canelo Alvarez and his next fight. So, as far as we know, the latest news is that Canelo's next fight is going to be apparently in September. That's looking to be the most likely option for it. He's now taken over the Mayweather pattern of fighting in May, Cinco de Mayo, the Mexican holiday, and in September, so the 2-fight-a-year thing. And right now there's not a clear opponent set in stone, but you know, the latest stuff I've been hearing on this is that Canelo is actually going to have to take a significant pay cut for his next fight, for his next upcoming fight, which is interesting because I was under a different impression. I assumed that the zone, the way that they sort of sign fighters up, is that they would pay you a significant amount of money, and then that would sort of be your fee for the 10-fight deal. Because in Canelo's case, he signed a 10-fight deal with the zone, and that deal I think apparently was worth like I don't know, 100 and something million, or good, it was in, you know, sort of the hundreds of millions, like I think 100 and something, or leaning towards 200 million or whatever. And I thought that it was kind of a flat fee and you might get little bits on top, but I thought that it was a settled sort of number that they just kind of stick with. But from what's been coming out in the media, it looks like Canelo's gonna have to take a bit of a pay cut in his next fight, in his upcoming September or October fight that he's gonna have. And this is because they're saying he could even be fighting actually behind closed doors, and for me that was a big surprise, because these sort of superstars, and I mean Canelo is kind of the hottest commodity. He's kind of the, yeah, I'd say he's kind of the biggest star in boxing, you know, because he is so well known and so revered in the American market, and you know, he's even well known and revered over here in the UK, the European market. So he's a guy that is very well known. He's definitely one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid, you know, apart from guys like Anthony Joshua, who's consistently been getting, I don't know, 20 million or whatever paydays. Even Fury and Wilder now, they've been sort of climbing up and matching the sort of Joshua paydays. But I think overall, yeah, Canelo is definitely up there in that sort of top percentage of how much he gets paid. And a lot of the money that they make comes from gates, comes from, you know, tickets and selling on the door and all this sort of thing. So I was quite surprised to hear this, but I mean, apparently this is what it is. His next fight is gonna be sort of a behind closed doors affair with not many in the audience, if anybody in the audience at all, but is going to be definitely a very scaled down affair. And as I say, I'm very surprised about this, because I can understand this with sort of lower tier fighters who might be on ticket deals, fighters who don't draw the most crowds or don't earn the most money. I can understand those sort of guys being in a sort of smaller venue, behind closed doors sort of thing. I can understand that, but Canelo is the biggest commodity pretty much in the sport, so to see him behind closed doors is very interesting. But I can't say that I'm upset about seeing it, because I'm really looking forward to it. And I've been thinking about, you know, who should he fight? I've got several names here, you know, that I'd love to see. I'd love to see Benavidez, because Benavidez, again, another talented, young, undefeated super middleweight, you know, world champion, very good guy, slick guy, quick guy. And I think he would pose Canelo maybe the most problems out of all the people. I mean, they've been talking about Smith, Callum Smith, as an option for Canelo. Of course, I think that would be a respectable option because, again, he's another tall, big, super middleweight. I think he poses Canelo problems, but I could see Canelo winning that. You know, you've got Dimitri Bivol, who's a light heavyweight world champion, who has even offered Canelo to sort of come down to super middleweight and fight him there. And then you've got the option of, which I think is the least likely, which is Artur Beterbiev, who is the light heavyweight king, who is the feared man, the crash bang wallop man at light heavyweight, who, you know, seems to just sort of spark everyone out, seems to just sort of knock everyone out. You know, a very, very dangerous proposition. And, you know, he's the guy that I can see why Team Canelo went for Sergey Kovalev rather than, you know, Beterbiev, because Beterbiev, you know, he's the danger man of the light heavyweight division. You know, certainly in my view, a fight between him and Canelo, yeah, I'd love to see that too, because, you know, if you've beaten a Kovalev, bit of an aging guy, not quite in his prime. You know, let's see what you do against a Beterbiev, who is, you know, in his prime. He's in his 30s, but, you know, young 30s. He's in his prime, powerful guy, you know, big, strong at the weight. You know, let's see what you do with him. I think that would be very interesting. And lately, the sort of big talk, certainly over here in England, and I believe even Bernard Hopkins has even mentioned this name, and that's the name of Islington boy, John Ryder, who is a fighter from over here in the UK. And lately, according to what certain powers that be have been saying, John Ryder is a big possibility for this. John Ryder is a guy who's formerly a middleweight, stepped up to super middleweight. He pushed Callum Smith very, very close. Many people, you know, including myself, I thought, you know, what Ryder done in that fight was certainly enough to win. And I can understand, you know, why he felt, you know, hard done by in that fight. I can certainly understand why he felt like he won that fight. He pushed Callum Smith. He gave Smith all he could handle. And he put out a tweet on, of course, on Twitter about Canelo Alvarez, and, you know, stated that, look, he's willing to do it. He's willing to take on the fight with Alvarez. And, you know, I think it was something like hashtag chasing the crown. So John Ryder is definitely a big name that is in the mix for the Canelo fight. And I think, especially in a sort of behind closed doors setting, in a smaller setting, you know, I think John Ryder would be the perfect opponent for Alvarez. I think John Ryder's done more than enough to deserve it. He may not be a world champion, but, you know, we can definitely see, going by his last performance, he certainly deserves to be a world champion based on that performance. And for me, the pick of the bunch is John Ryder. He's a guy that, you know, he's a southpaw. You know, Billy Joe Saunders was one of the first in line for Canelo Alvarez. We know that, you know, Saunders has taken himself out of the equation, and I think, why not another good British southpaw, you know, which is what Canelo would have been preparing for. John Ryder, you know, he's ready for the fight. He's not going to make excuses about time, what time he's got to prepare. He's not going to make excuses about money, because I think Ryder, you know, this will be a career highest purse, even if they pay him quote unquote low money. I think whatever you get paid to fight Canelo is going to be career high. Is going to be a career high purse for him. And much as I'm definitely not picking Ryder to beat Canelo, I think Canelo is kind of a league above a guy like John Ryder. I'm still not going to sit here and say John Ryder doesn't stand a chance at all. I think he's definitely got a chance, but I'd still say Canelo's most likely going to win. But in terms of deserving the opportunity, getting the opportunity, I think, you know, John Ryder definitely deserves it. And I do hope that we do see Canelo versus Ryder this coming September. You know, make sure you like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, look out for this fight, Canelo versus Ryder. We may see that in the near future. And until next time, it's MKO Pugilism over and out. We'll see you next time.